You got to step to this cracker or it will never stop. You can moan, you can groan, you can sing, you can pray, you can recite, you can claim you know all the Quran, Old Testament, all the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, the Quran from Al-Fatiha to Al-Nas. You can know all the Medunete. You can know Maya, truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. You can name those of the Netter system. You can go and study the Odu text and substantiate your position according to Odu. You can study the Ifa, the Word, or the Akan, or the Yoruba, and run through the pantheon of the Orisha. You can call on Olodumare. You can call on Ilekba and Shango and Obatula and Oshun and Ogun and Yemonya. You can know all of them unless you're willing to stand up and step to this white man. We will never get out of this condition. Frederick Douglass said the limits of a tyrant is prescribed by exactly how far you will let that tyrant go. He won't stop if you don't stop him. It's like any bully. The bully will keep picking on you until you get him to raise up off of you. Some of us will lose our lives. Tupac is gone already. Biggie is gone already. Many of us, Yusuf Hawkins is gone already. Many of us are already dead and we're dying every day. And while we're here in Queens tonight, black men and women and young black boys are dying at the hands of some cracker somewhere in America right now. I would rather die for a cause than to die because.
I'm just tired of forgiving. Forgive them for what they do tonight.
Come on.
Roll it over and throw your hands up there. Oh, it's gonna be a brighter day tomorrow. I had enough of blood, sweat, and tears. This man of Vietnam veterans here, he survived. How we gonna survive as a community if we don't trust each other?
Talk back.
You talk about firearms, I'm about to put my dukes up and we can all come together. Who do we go to? I can't knock on my neighbor's door and talk about it. My brother was one of those that died getting a cake for his son and didn't make it. I'm tired. We gonna commit. We gonna be shot. The police killing us. The white folks killing us. Here's gonna happen again. They're gonna attack our schools, our churches, our community centers, anywhere in the black neighborhood. It's us against everybody.
The revolution will be televised.
And because it's us against everybody, it's not going to be all of us. It's going to be the ones that love us. Because love is an action word. So we're going to have to start with us and spread that love. Because at the end of the day, the real revolution is us loving each other. Because in order for us to get to this point, they had to they had to destroy the love that we had for one another. That's where the drugs and the guns came in after they took away the jobs. See, everything in our community has been placed here by the government, but we still continue to think that the government somehow is going to work for us. And there are those of us who have waken up from that illusion.
Let her finish first.
My revolution, I have something to say, and I want to know why the black community is not stepping up, and some of us are turning them in on our children that are being taken in foster care under CPS. Why nobody ain't stepping to the plate and protecting these people that are being incarcerated and waiting to get out of jail because they haven't been arraigned and stuff. And nobody's stepping up to that plate. I went to the court with the last case where the fellow was supposed to kidnap his child from a white foster home. And he was supposed to hit the caseworker. All that, you got to get the transcript to see what he's testifying to. But I was the only one in the court trying to see what's going on with this young brother. Not only him, the ones that was in Rochester that came here and took his child out of a foster home. Our kids are being taken, it's big business, and we have participated in that because we called the enemy to come and take care of things that we need to take care of in our own community. Calling them and telling them about the sister ain't taking care of the village, take care of the children.
That's right. But the village was destroyed when they destroyed the love.
Well, they gonna step up there and step on that too.
We have to step up. And you see how many people here. Everybody should be here. 9 out of 10 people that live in this community can't afford to live here. 9 out of 10 people here have a family member that was murdered. 9 out of 10 people here are working jobs that don't pay living wages. 9 out of 10 people here are struggling to take care of their family. So we have to understand that the power is in the people. But we continue to be distracted and divided by these nonprofits, by these politicians, by these poverty pimping churches. And see, the problem is that the truth exists, but we don't want to accept it. The time has to be right for somebody to tell the truth. The person has to be the right person who tells the truth. You have to talk a certain kind of way to tell the truth. And see, that is the problem, because unless and until we start accepting truth, we are going to continue to be in these conditions. I didn't make the truth. I'm just here to provide you with the information. Because the only thing that got us divided is the lies, because they control the narrative. They, not us. Where's the news? The news puts out an image that we don't care. But how can we care? Half of us working 2 and 3 jobs to pay the $1,300 rent that used to be $850, $750. Now we paying $1,300. So how can we love one another? We don't even know what's going on with one another because we don't have community centers. And the community centers that we have are funded by who? The government. See, we keep depending on the government to put us and help us get out of these situations, but they are the ones who put us in it. And until and unless we start understanding that this is what systemic racism looks like. See, we think systemic racism is people not wanting you to live in their community, people calling you out of your name and Karens. No, the system is a system that takes your tax dollars and your vote and gives you nothing in return. That's tyranny. Taxation without representation is a tyranny. But we can't demand anything because we don't know anything, because we depend on them to tell us what we need to know so we can empower ourselves and one another. That's the problem.
We empower ourselves. We know this.
Right.
Okay, I'm just saying this. Okay, I'm just saying this. All that you're saying is true. We can't stop what's already done. Well, how can we go forward knowing that?
We got to go forward one another.
For a community, love overconquers everything.
Yes, it does. But where is the love? Where's the love?
Me, and it was in you. All it do is take two.
And it's going to have to grow. They're going to have to see black people loving black people, standing up for black people before they're going to stand up.
That's why
love is an action word, but we keep accepting lip service, and we not demanding nothing in return. We like community organizations come into our community and tell us what the solutions are, and they ain't even from our community. No other community allows that. I need y'all to go outside of the east side of Buffalo. Every other community is not inundated with corner stores, liquor stores, and churches. They may have a few churches. Most of them only have one church, a middle school, a grade school, and a high school. See, their communities are set up to promote unity. Our communities are set up to be disunified. unified. The government said that the greatest threat to this country was black unity, and we still wondering why we not unified. And then when we start talking about the skin folk, now we start using words like hate. The truth sounds like hate to people who hate to hear the truth. And how we out here going to change anything? How can you change a system that you don't understand? And if we don't understand big government, so we can't understand little government. If all East Side residents stood up with one another on one accord, anything we didn't want in our community could not exist. So the power is within us. And we may know it, that's why we here. But we gotta take that message back to our families, because the smallest unit in the community is a black family. How are we gonna be a community and get together and be on one accord when we can't even get along with our families? So the love got to start with our families and spill out into the community. We gotta be patient with one another. We gonna have to educate one another. It's very fundamental. Each one teach one. We have to understand what happens to him happens to me. What happens to her happens to me. But see, unfortunately, the program has us not caring about what happens to anybody until it happens to us. Then we want to be out here like, oh, well, where's the community? Why we can't stand together? We got to stand together every day. We got to stand together in the sun and in the rain. But see, we don't do that. We get angry, we get hostile, and we leave. Then we turn around and be like, yeah, support Ukraine. Yeah, support France. Who is supporting the indigenous black man? Because the greatest lie ever told is that we all came over here on slave ships. Because they know if they told you that this shit is yours, that you won't defend this shit, because they see you defending your shit all throughout your community. That's why it's all these millions and millions of dollars allocated to give you free shit instead of giving you your freedom. Because guess what? If we 47,000 East Side residents bring in over $1 billion in federal state aid for poverty every single solitary year. The city budget is only $500 million. Your poverty is what keeps this city going. These developers ain't coming in and developing with their own money. They developing with our money. Then they develop some shit, they don't let us get on the job, and then they develop an apartment we can't even afford, and the shit is on toxic land. And you got all your black leadership that know, and instead of telling you, they send these organizations to give you free shit. And that's the whole problem. But see, don't nobody want to accept that, because that is how people are paying their bills. Because what jobs in the city of Buffalo are available that support $1,300 in rent? We up at top, we can't be safe. Who are we going to depend on to keep us safe if it ain't us? The police ain't keeping us safe. The politicians ain't keeping us safe. The black churches ain't keeping us safe. So it falls on us. It is now our responsibility. And that's what's real. And we gotta understand that. And everybody thinks they're gonna save the community. We're gonna save the community. Because it's bigger than one of us. It's billions of dollars at hand. Do you think they're about to let the East Side residents get educated, empowered, engaged, and stand up and come off the table? Where are they gonna work? This is how they feed their family. They get out here and they tell you to volunteer your time. But meanwhile, in between time, these organizations is paying them $80,000 a year with benefits to help the community. So who you think they helping? Who do you think they're helping? When you have a problem with your family, do you bring in the neighbors, or do you get with your family and say, "What's up? What we gonna do?" Do we do that? Do we do that? Uh-oh. This is why I say the solution is us. The solution is to go back and love your family. Do group economics with your family and that shit is guaranteed to spill out into the community. Hold these politicians accountable. They come in the community and we can't wait to take pictures with these people.
Right.
And then we running around wondering why we can't afford the rent, but when you with the person who allowed the rent to go up, y'all want to take pictures. We can't afford the rent, and they putting speed bumps in the community. Are you serious? We can't afford the rent, and they set up schools on cameras so that they could take tickets, create funding, and then that money they extracting out the community, it don't come back. Come on, they had checkpoints specifically in our community. They was extracting millions of dollars from the poorest community in this fucking country. Is you serious? They was taking people's cars, seizing them, taking the money out of their pockets, seizing it, and then when the people who authorize this shit come into the community, y'all wanna take a picture?
And pray.
They don't come where I'm at because they feel real uncomfortable because I know what it is. And I need every one of y'all to know what it is. So when they come, everybody in their face. We need to be outside of their houses. Because see, they living good. They'll use the city of Buffalo for an address. They don't fucking live here. Do you see them? Do you see them at the corner store? Do you see them in the library? Where do you see these people in the community when they not at work? They have to spend all of this money to tell you what they've done for the community because they ain't done nothing for you. What is the solution? The solution is to go to these people and make them do their damn job.
Hello.
Come on with Stop the Violence. We've been stopping the violence for 12 years. That's a career. Because without the violence, they not getting $5.5 million in grant money. Now they out here just like you trying to work and figure out how to pay the rent. So guess what? Your ass gotta be poor so they can thrive. So stop being so quick to join organizations and put on t-shirts and shit and do your research. The same organizations that's out here are funded by the people who buying up our community. Are we not paying attention?
No, they're not.
The first thing they want to tell you is about what they did for the community and how long they done it for the community, but they ain't going to tell you how much they made doing it.
As long as we play the right man's game, we're not going to win. You see, when you talk about economics, then that means we provide the services that we need. So that takes the monies out of those corner stores and out of those big department stores, and it puts the money back in the community. In other words, we need to do a boycott without boycotting in front of their stores, but holding back the black dollar. See, you're not going to solve any of this if you don't hold back that black dollar. We need to pitch a tent at Tops and be there for victory. We need to put Buffalo on the map for the Montgomery bus boycott. Shut them down. You don't even ride their buses. Walk. Get on a bike. Get on a scooter, goddammit. Take back that money. The only thing means anything to the white man is the dollar. So you ain't gonna make him holler just calling him a redneck cracker. What's gonna make him holler is when you take that black dollar and hold that black dollar and build with that This is what Khalid Muhammad was saying. We got to put our money back in our pockets. I think we need to set it off with our boycott. I think we need to stop riding the goddamn buses. Stop spending in their stores. Don't go to the corner store. Go to the marketplace where they wholesale until we wholesale our own. But at least we can shut them down. They look out and they wondering if it's a new holiday. Yeah, it's a new day for black people to hold their money in their pockets. I come out of New York City. I'm the chairwoman of New York State. And what I say, I speak from experience. When they came to move the vendors on 125th Street, they came to move us. But you know what we did? We had mobilized the whole city. So when they moved, we moved. And 125th Street became a ghost town because we had mobilized the people. We have shut down stores, put them out of business. 8 casualties in one day, 8 dead in one day, but we shut them down. So this is how serious you got to be. Live or die, fight or flight, and we choose to fight. So that means that we have to make sacrifices. So we have to set off a boycott. These Negro coons that you have as politicians is not going to do that. They are going to tell you it's going to be all right. We got $1 million coming. And we ain't going to ever see that. That money goes in their pocket. I suggest, as chairwoman of New York State, I suggest that we camp out for justice and we hold back our money. No matter what you do, if you can't feed yourself, you can't free yourself. When they say food desert, what does desert mean? It means death. It means desolation. So why and who would set up a food desert zone? Who did that? That cracker did that because he plans to starve you. So he figured you won't connect the dots. He figured you won't figure that shit out. They will starve you like they did the ones in Mississippi where we're going in a couple of weeks. They starved 20,000 and threw them in an open grave. Do you hear what I say? Yes, but they moving slick up here. They call it food desert zone. And what does that mean? That means you don't really have any food. That's what it means. It means that they control the food that you eat. So if you're not feeding yourself, you can't free yourself. That means that you have to acquire land. That means that you got to put the seed in the ground. They stopping baby formula. Can't you read the writing on the wall? If you ain't got land, if you're not growing anything, you don't have anything. Even no matter what we say and do, we need to shut Buffalo down. We need to go down in history the way Martin Luther King did. Martin Luther King broke the bus company. We need to break Buffalo. And then they will understand. And that is the only thing the white man understands, is the white man's dollar. And when we do that, then we can start buying some land, growing our food. And on land, you can build your own shelter. On land, you grow your own food. On land, you can manufacture your own clothing. On land, you can cultivate yourselves to free yourselves. You can't free yourself depending on this devil. He's never going to free you. He has no intention of giving any reparations, okay? He's never gonna give that. That's why Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who teaches us, he says he will never give you reparations. He said you're gonna have to take it. You're gonna have to take it. He said, but even that, he says that this cracker has to bleed, that his blood has to bathe this earth. In other words, he has to be eliminated. Even God don't want him. He's undesirable. And as Khalid said, that white woman is the backup manufacturer. She produces him. He drops the seed, but she rolls him out. So we have to deal with it from the bottom to the top. And the real thing is, y'all, tell your neighbors, hold that black dollar. Get some vans, deliver food to your people. And then we don't need no more clothes. We got more clothes than anyone in the world. Stop buying their stuff. Stop buying their stuff. Start the boycott in Buffalo. We don't mind coming from New York City. We come out of a protest city. We're always ready to shut down. We're always ready to move. So I say to you that if you're really serious, let's make the sacrifice. I bring up busloads of black people here, and we'll shut them down. We can shut them down. You took